Kelly, any thoughts or anything to clarify? Thinking about these three classes.
I love the enthusiasm that like Ashley and people who are, re-embracing or embracing bicycling, because there's a new tool that makes it even more fun or more practical. And I honestly haven't yet heard a lot about who the users are of e-bikes yet. So it's, to me, it's a very interesting area, and I'm interested to see how things emerge and evolve over the next few years.
Is there information on e-bike use in Florida as far as who the users are?
I haven't tracked it down yet.
There's a lot of talk about this, being opening up opportunities for people to ride bikes that wouldn't do it before, but these are not cheap. These are not your $100 beach cruiser kind of things here. These are expensive, and I don't know how the maintenance compares to a normal bike, but even normal bike of any quality is an expensive thing to maintain. So, yeah. It's like you got to find the group that's willing to drop a chunk of change to buy the thing in the first place. Then hopefully they have a good experience with it. Then they got to find qualified people to maintain it. So I'm afraid that in some cases that could really limit the use of it to a certain level of financially dependent or independent person.
I'm kind of with you on that, Tom. And as I do my online shopping, I'm always, part of what's holding me back is the price point. And whereas it does seem like there is a lot of enthusiasm around e-bikes, and maybe they're a way to bring people who are not currently biking on board, it's not an impulse buy, at least, for my household budget. And Ashley, I'm curious, as a owner of two bikes, if you can share a little bit about either that price range that you ended up getting into and maybe what you're experiencing in terms of maintenance.
Sure. Actually, my bike is covered for 2 years. I was able to actually get a really good deal on my bike. I was able to get it for about $3,000 for my first bike.
Oh, wow.
And then my second bike, I paid about $2,000. So they were very pricey. However, I did get a service contract with both bikes, and I had an issue with one bike, and it was fixed for free.
Oh, wow.
So
well,
I think that the bike kind of pays for itself. And like I explained to you guys, the reason why I ended up getting another bike was because my bike was being repaired. Something happened with the battery. So sometimes they do experience issues with the battery. And when that happened, my bike was in the shop, I think 2 weeks, being repaired. And I'm like, I have to have my bike. I have to have my bike. So of course, I was a little impulsive, to be honest with you. I went out and bought another one. I bought a Swagtron, which I don't really particularly like that bike. So that's why I switched back to my other bike. So it's just like almost I have a second bike just in case. It's not as nice as my first bike, as my mountain e-bike class 2, because it doesn't have all the bells and whistles.
Ashley, were you cycling a lot prior to getting the e-bikes? Was it?
Not as much. I have to be very honest with you, not as much. So the e-bike has helped me in a lot of ways. I'm like, I have to get on my bike every single day. And I also have a dog. So I put my dog also, he has like his little carrier. So it has like increased my biking use, I would say at least about 80% more. So they have their advantages. And these bikes, they do come with contracts where the biking companies are covering the maintenance on them for a couple years. And with that as well, you can't take your bike to any shop. They only are contracted with certain shops. They are very particular about that, is what I would tell you. So I have an EcoMotion bike. That bike is only to be serviced by their personnel. Even though I bought the bike like at Brand Smart, if you guys are familiar with Brand Smart.
Okay. When you were looking to buy an e-bike, did you have a sense of the three different types of like class 1, class 2, or did they? No. Okay.
I wasn't looking at my bike at all. So it was Christmas time. I gotta tell you the truth. It was Christmas time, right? So I go into Brand Smart. I was at Brand Smart and I see this beautiful bike. I had no idea about e-bikes at all. Period. I have to be honest with you. I had not done my research at all. And it was kind of an impulsive buy, but it was the best purchase I ever made. The best purchase I ever made. I got on that bike and I have not been off that bike. It's been a whole year. I absolutely love it. I would say I bike at least 4 or 5 times a week, at least about 17 miles a day. I bike a lot. And I understand it does, but I also do HIIT exercises. I do HIIT workout. I do a lot of cardio. So I am very, very physically active as well. But my bike is my baby.
Gotcha.
It was the best purchase ever. and I bought another one thinking that it was going to be just as nice, but it wasn't. So the brand makers of the bikes, some of them come basic, and then some of them come with all the bells and whistles. You just have to do your research.